Welcome to Outsider Reviews. This week we have the 2023 Lincoln Corsair Plug-in Hybrid Edition. Now this vehicle is a pretty good vehicle, but it does start at a hefty price. The Corsair can start at $51,000 Canadian and can go all the way up to this model here, which is $79,000 Canadian. For the US, starts at $38,000 and goes up as high as $65,000 US. Now we're going to go right into the appearance of this vehicle. In the front, what we have is right in the middle, the Lincoln logo. You'll notice there's some blue around it. That's how you tell. That's literally, aside from the charging port, literally the only way you can tell this is a plug-in hybrid. I like the grille. I'd like to see a little bit more blacked out, but I think this is an interesting grille. I could do it without this chromed line right there, but overall I do think that they did a pretty good job redesigning this. The LED lightings is what you would expect from a vehicle up of this quality from a Lincoln. So everything's LED, no fog lights. Everybody's kind of doing without the fog lights. That's because the lights are a lot better quality than they used to be, so a little bit less need for fog lights. Under the hood, we have a 2.5 liter Atkinson cycle inline 4-cylinder engine with 2 electric motors. Now this is being ran by eCVT all-wheel drive, so it is a CVT transmission. Output is 266 horsepower and pounds-feet of torque. Now the internal combustion engine alone will give you 155 pounds-feet of torque, and the EV motors will give you 284 pounds-feet of torque. About the pounds-feet of torque, that does mean that if your battery's completely dead, you're looking at 155 pounds-feet of torque, right? So you got to keep that in factor. As far as what the battery gives you, it says 45 kilometers of range. In actuality, I get about 43 kilometers of range, which is equivalent more like 20 miles. Between 20 and 23 miles of range is what you're gonna get as far as your the battery portion of this vehicle. Now it does have the little port right here, and it charges on level 2 from 10 to 100% in about 4 hours. Level 1, which is what I've been using, it's about 12 hours, right? So overnight, not a big deal, but during the day, if you do run errands, I do a lot of kilometers. I do about 100 to 200 kilometers a day in my daily use. So, you know, my fuel economy does vary. As far as fuel economy goes, this vehicle is supposed to give you in the city around 3.3 liters per 100 kilometers or 7.2 on the highway. Now, we're used to seeing highways being shorter. This is a plug-in hybrid, right? So the battery gets to recharge, regen with the braking, extended that electric range. So in actuality, me doing a little bit of both every day, I'm about at 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers. Now this vehicle is running on 20-inch wheels, which does affect a little bit your comfort in your ride, but these are very nice looking wheels. Continuing on to the sides, we got blacked out mirrors. We got the Corsair logo right here, writing. You don't have proximity unlock, but as soon as you put your hands in the back there, it will unlock, and then you can just open it up. So, as well as with Fords and Lincolns, you have the keypad right here if you ever lock yourself out, which don't see that happening these days quite a bit. You can open it with your phone, you can open it with a lot of things, so yeah, we'll give that. Now this does have equipped with a panoramic sunroof and 20-inch wheels in the back as well. Now let's go see the trunk. In the back we have our big Lincoln logo, and as well as these will light up across the way. So we got a light bar that goes completely across. We have our cameras, we have our green license plate for the environment, and because this is not a full electric, you do have dual exhaust. This has also kicking, the whole kicking opening the trunk, or you can just simply press the button and it is a electric tailgate. Now up in the back, we have 27 cubic feet of space with the seats up. We also have electric dropping of the seats right here. Boom. And if we drop both seats, we have just shy of 57 cubic feet. So 56.2 cubic feet of cargo with the seats down. We have a 12-volt cigarette lighter right here. And you'd have your spare tire underneath with your jack and everything you need in case of trouble. You can actually get a view too of the rear electric, because this is dual electric motor. So you can actually see the rear one back there. Pretty cool. And I would not touch it. So that takes care of the trunk. Let's take a look at the back seat. Out here in the back seat, we have some pretty comfortable seating. Actually, I find myself pretty comfortable in this seat. And as far as leg room, we do have 37 inches of leg room, which is ample enough. I love also how the panoramic sunroof opens everything up, and you can actually recline the back seats for extra comfort, which is nice. Cup holders is expected. Here they are. No pass-through. I'd like to have a pass-through. I know some other manufacturers are doing that, but that's because I play hockey, so I like to put my hockey sticks across without them. We do have heated seats over here and USB-Cs down here. We have 4 of them. I'd like to see a plug, like a just regular 120 volt, but it's just USB-Cs. We have a ventilation, a little bit of cargo nets here, and that basically takes care of the back. Now, before we go inside the front, I'm just going to show you the door right here. Now, this has like 20 different ways of adjusting the front seats to potentially get comfortable. So you have some adjustments right here in the door, and you know, you have your typical mirrors, folding mirrors, mirror adjustments, automatic windows, and your Vevel audio logo right here. Now this does have 14 speakers, and they sound really good. Now let's take a look inside. Now here I am sitting in the driver's seat. I will go over basically what the front looks like here. On your steering wheel, you have your usual controls, your music controls, your adaptive cruise control, and phone controls, and so on. And you can control the information page. You also have, right behind the steering wheel right here, a little IR scanner. Now, this comes as a $12,000 option. So basically, if you don't need the Ford's Blue Cruise, which is, you know, hands-free driving on certain roads, because it's not every road that you can use this system on, then you can save yourself that $12,000 in options, which also comes with a heads-up display. As far as the heads-up display, I like it. I think it's nice, but I don't think it's a must. So you guys be the judge of what you want as far as that's concerned. Now, the Blue Cruise is pretty interesting because it will change lanes for you and pass slower vehicles on the highways. And, you know, it just scans your eyes. You just need to pay attention to the road, and that works great that way. That's actually pretty interesting. As far as everything else, steering wheel, we have lane keeping assist right here on the left stalk, which is also your headlight controls and your blinker control. And then over here you do have rain sensing wipers, and you have your wiper controls all on this right stalk here. Now, sitting in this seat, you can adjust it in more than different ways, like I've mentioned. You have your little door knobs here, not knobs, but you know what I mean, buttons here to adjust the seat, which can be adjusted in so many ways. And you also have on the screen here, Brian, if you can show this, you have every single panel as they get highlighted that you can change. Now, this will take some time to get used to, and it will take some time for you to program your own seat. And the end result is hopefully you're comfortable in it. Now, I'm a bigger person. Some of you have commented on that. Thanks a lot. But anyways, I am a bigger person, and I find that this seat kind of hugs a little bit if you have a wider butt like I do. So I haven't found a way to get comfortable, and I did play around with all these features. There's so much to customize here. However, I'm gonna give this a minus for the seats. just because I don't have a good, comfortable seat as of yet, even after playing with it. And we've had this car for a week now as of today. Still not comfortable. Now moving on, as far as the screen is, you got a great like 13-inch screen here. You know, I will say that it is a little bit laggy as far as responsiveness. So yeah, you touch it, you have to wait a few seconds for that to kick in and for that to go back. So I will give it a little bit of a ding for that one. It is a little bit laggy. Now down below here, this is your shifter. You guys tell me in the comments how you guys feel about this. Now I'm not new to this kind of shifter, the button press. The Buick Envision, which we reviewed not too long ago, has that, but it had it right here in the bottom, right in the center console, which I found eventually I got used to it and no problemo. This piano shifter here, I'm not a fan. So I know I've just mentioned like 3 negative things in a row, but it kind of stops there. Everything else is really good, aside from the piano black. So piano black, especially with this crack here, very hard to keep clean. You guys can probably see it more even so in the camera, how it's hard to keep this thing clean. And over here we have your parking assist button, your cameras, hazard lights. This just brings you back to your home screen. There you go. And basically your defrost max, which is I like having these kind of buttons there. I don't like having everything to go through the screen down here. You guys let me know if you prefer the buttons or not. Over here we have a wireless charging pad, and this covers itself up. Now, I do find there could have been a better use of the space here, just because there is no shifter. So, you know, could have had something better. And the fact that this is something that you can slide, and most people, to be honest, will just have it open pretty much the whole time they own it. So I think that we could have put some more cargo space back here as well. So I don't know, you guys let me know, but maybe I'm just being picky. Cup holders, decent size, you can have a big gulp in it. Park and brake, drive modes. Now, if we go through the drive modes, we have obviously normal, preserve EV, where it's going to focus on charging your batteries. Pure EV, so again, 40 kilometers of range for pure EV. So if you know, you have Excite, which is, you know, supposed to go fast, and conserve and slippery. So these are the drive modes we have. Side note, it doesn't keep your drive mode. So I put it in conserve, just because I'm cheap and gas is expensive. So you turn it off, you go do some errands, you come back in the car, it's gonna default back to normal. Now that can be a little bit annoying, always having to change that, so not a big fan of that either. But this is where your drive mode selection, and you know, center console is, you know, it has a 12-volt charger in it, cigarette lighter, and decent cargo space. We do have a panoramic sunroof, which Brian's not a fan because it messes up with the camera. Brian's behind the camera right now, so sometimes it gets sunny, and it is a pretty nice size panoramic sunroof. I'm very happy with it. So yeah, you guys let me know. Everything else is very nice. This is, you know, we got some leather, a little bit soft touch plastic. Good. We have some ambiance lighting as well that you can choose from while going through your settings. So overall, this is a nice looking interior of a vehicle, which is expected in this grade and this price. All right. So we covered a little bit everything that this vehicle has to offer, and I've covered a little bit what I like as far as what the seat is, and we've done that, right? As far as the handling, I haven't really discussed that. I like it. I like the handling. I think it handles really good. I think it's pretty responsive. Maybe the suspension is a little bit soft, but as far as acceleration goes, it's pretty good. Comfort, like back seat, very comfortable, very spacious, very roomy. Now, it does go 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers ish in 6.3 seconds, and that's what Ford states or what Lincoln states. That's about what you get when you're accelerating with this. This is not meant to, which is ample enough, and again, that's when you have the hybrid motors available. So driving on your your daily driver, this is a great daily driver. I have no issues with this vehicle whatsoever. I actually quite enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't enjoy, again, is the comfort levels. You do have to go test drive one to make sure you guys are comfortable with one, and that make sure of these seats. Now, maybe actually these seats are just so high tech that, you know, that's my problem. I did try playing with all the panels and everything, and maybe I'm just used to a basic seat, or maybe I just like the abuse. Now you may ask, where does this vehicle compare as far as the competition that's out there? Well, that's where it gets a little bit extremes a little bit. Like, you do have the Volvo XC60 Recharge, so plug-in hybrid as well, which is more expensive than this if you compare it to top of the line, because this is the top trim. And with top trim being a luxury brand, so the Volvo XC60 Recharge is around $89,000, so more expensive than this. So this definitely competes with that. Now you got the Lexus NX, which is actually roughly around the same price. If you fully load it up like this is, it's roughly around the same price. The BMW X3 now is actually considerably cheaper. It's around $69,000 Canadian. We're talking Canadian prices here. Sorry, I didn't write all the US prices for this, but and I don't have that much of a memory. So we're gonna go with that. Now, so that did surprise me. So these are all plug-in hybrids, and I want to mention something. Just keep that in the back of your mind. What if you decide to go for the Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, which gives you the same amount of electric range? I think it's around 45 kilometers of electric range. And you can load it up to the GT, so their top trim, fully loaded up. You would be looking around $67,000 Canadian. So right there, if I compare these two, which a CX-90 is a bigger vehicle as well, same range, actually great handling as well, I'm a big fan of it, I would definitely consider that. But again, if we're just classifying as far as luxury brands, this is definitely a competitive vehicle, a competitive price. All right, it's about that time to summarize and just go over, give you guys, there's a plain point, pros and cons. A pro is fuel economy. Plug-in hybrid, this actually saves me quite a lot of money on fuel on my daily driver. I actually do get around 43 kilometers of electric range, which is good. Another pro is the handling. I find that it handles very great. And last pro is the sound quality. Not just the speakers, but the fact that this is well soundproofed. You don't get that extra road noise and all that, so definitely a pro. Fuel economy, it's expected from a hybrid, but still a pro. As far as my cons, I mentioned them throughout this video. I'm just going to sum it all up. The seat, not comfortable. The shifters, not functional in my idea. I can't seem to get used to, you know, being a quick shifting from park, reverse, drive. That piano keys kind of just drive me nuts. Change that. And I would definitely work on the software because the screen lags a little bit. These are basically the three big cons, which are not, aside from the seat comfort, you know, you can get by with it. So do I recommend this vehicle? Yeah, if you're looking for, if you like Ford, if you like the Lincoln, and it all comes down to what you like. So I would definitely think this is a good vehicle to buy.